we're going to briefly discuss some of the fundamental understanding that you will need to have to use maps and navigate as a basic rifleman. We're going to keep this very simple, but we highly encourage everyone to take a chance to look at the additional learning references on this page to get the full scope of everything you need to know to really use a map to its full extent. Every rifleman needs to be able to do several fundamental things when it comes to using a map. First, they need to be able to read the map, that is, identify where they are, landmarks, navigational guidances, as well as mission objectives. You also need to be able to understand how to basically use a compass and orient a map to be online with a compass. Every rifleman also needs to be able to understand how to plot a simple course based off landmarks and follow it by using a pace count. When you use a compass, it's important that you hold it in a very steady level position. Generally, locking your arms to your sides in this sort of position is a safe way to go. However, there's other procedures that some people are more comfortable with. It's important that you keep your compass away from any large metal, especially iron objects, as it will disrupt the accurate reading of the needle. Essentially, a compass points to magnetic north. So once you get your compass, simply hold it level until the needle spins and points north. Once you've done that, you can take your map, locate in the legend on the map which direction is north on your map, and turn or orient your map to match the direction that your compass indicates to be north. The next fundamental skill you need to be able to use is acquiring and recognizing landmarks. Now on your map, any landmark is a very easily distinguished either geographical or man-made feature. This can be anything from a radio tower to power lines to a distinctive ridge line to a road. You must be able to distinguish from what it looks like on the map to what it looks like in reality. This will allow you to plot a basic course using landmarks rather than exact grid coordinates. Once you've identified a landmark, the legend of the map should indicate the scale that the map is drawn. You can then measure using the side of your compass or any form of straight edge or a piece of paper, if you know that trick, the approximate distance from where you are on the map to that landmark. You'll then plot your course using a straight edge or some sort of marker and continue that from landmark to landmark in a course that leads you to the best strategic ground to advance upon your objective. Once you use these landmarks to plot your course, it's important to remember to mark rally points as well as attack points along your course. A rally point is any place where you have chosen, due to strategic importance, whether it's a terrain advantage or a mission advantage, you've selected that area as a regroup point in case of certain situations, such as an ambush scattering your fire team or things of that nature. An attack point is a position preferably within sight of the mission objective. You use the attack point to download non-mission essential gear, rebrief the fire team as to what is to happen, and then you use that attack point as the rally point after the attack has taken place. Another trick to plotting a course using landmarks or even grid coordinates is the use of handrails and dead stops. A handrail is a geographical or man-made feature that your course can shadow or follow that will keep you on target. A good example of this, once again, is a road or power lines or a stream. You know if you keep that road or stream to the right or left or to the east or west as you're traveling a certain direction, that you're going in basically the correct direction. Now, a dead stop is anything that indicates you've gone too far. So when you're plotting a course, you might say, right, if we stay next to the river until we hit the road, then we know that's when we need to turn west. The river is your handrail and the road is your dead stop. If you hit the road, you know you've gone too far, and as long as the river is next to you, you know you're going in the right direction. Once you've established the scale that your map is drawn, you can estimate the total distance of the course that you want to follow. This is important because you'll be able to tell based on your pace count how far you've traveled and about at what time you should reach certain destinations. Your pace count is a pre-measured distance of feet that you take each time you take a step. To get your pace count, simply mark off 100 meters and count how many steps it takes for you to cover that distance. Generally speaking, it's best to count every time your left foot falls if you start stepping with your left foot. There's other ways to get a pace count, but essentially the important things to remember are how many paces or how many steps you take to cover 100 meters or about 100 yards. This is important because if you know this, you know how long it should take you to basically cover an amount of area. Once you start following your course, A member of the fire team chosen by the fire team leader needs to keep track of the pace count. This will allow you to know about when you need to make turns. For example, if your first waypoint along your course is a landmark, let's say a water tower or grove of trees, and you know that it is 1,000 meters from your start point, that means that within 1,000 meters, and if your pace count indicates it's been 1,000 meters, you should reach that point. If not, you're probably off or going in the wrong direction. So, general rule of thumb, you should always trust your pace count, and if you come up short, either add 8 to 1,000 paces in either direction. Now, if you come up short on your pace count, stop where you're at and look around. Try and re-inquire your position on the map. Try and see if you've gone too far or not far enough. Usually you will have not gone far enough. This is because you tend to walk slower during a tactical situation because you're watching for the enemy, booby traps, and things of that nature. Things such as vegetation will disrupt your pace count, as well as traveling uphill or downhill. Once again, this is where practice comes into it. The more you practice keeping a pace count, the more accurate you'll be able to keep it, and you'll remember that, all right, on this kind of terrain going uphill, I'm usually 40 paces short. Now, using your pace count along with all the other very simple tips will allow you to navigate fairly accurately without the use of precise grid coordinates. However, as I mentioned earlier, for more precise navigation, using actual grid coordinates as actual military units use, we provide plenty of references for you to educate yourselves on that.